Okay, students, this is a midpoint theorem. Now, the midpoint theorem states that the line joining the midpoints of any two sides of a triangle is always parallel to the third side and half the third side. That means, now suppose this is a triangle ABC. Now, if I join the midpoints of any two sides of the triangle, suppose the midpoint of AB is X. That means you can understand this part is equal to this part, AX equals to XB, X is the midpoint. And if Y is the midpoint of AC, okay, that means AY equals to YC and Y is the midpoint. And it states that the line joining the midpoints of any two sides of the triangle is always parallel to the third side and half the third side. That means now if I join this two midpoints of the triangle, then according to the midpoint theorem, this xy is always equals to half of BC. So that means it is always equal to the half of the third side. This is the third side. And xy is always parallel to BC. So that means this xy will always be parallel to BC. Okay, understand? So this is the midpoint theorem. So that means if I join the midpoints of any two sides of the triangle, that line, that is xy in this figure, xy will always be parallel to base, parallel to the BC, and xy will always be half of BC. Understand? So that means suppose the length of AB is 6, okay, 6, and suppose this is 8, and suppose this is say 10, then I can say that AX equals to 3, XB is also 3 because X is the midpoint, AY is 4, YC is also 4, and that means if BC is 10, then XY will be half of that. Automatically XY will be 5 centimeter. Understand? Now the proof of this theorem, it is given in your book, okay, so you can understand from there, because it's a long proof, but it's not very difficult, you can understand from there. So therefore I am not doing this in videos, you just go through them, okay. If you don't understand, then you contact me, but the main is the sums related with this midpoint theorem, okay. So you understand, that is the midpoint theorem. So finally, according to midpoint theorem, I can say that if X is the midpoint of AB and if Y is the midpoint of AC, then XY will, according to the midpoint theorem, XY will be always equals to half of BC and XY will be always equals to, XY will be always parallel to BC, okay. So this is called midpoint theorem, okay, understand? Okay, now next is the converse of midpoint theorem. Now converse of midpoint theorem, you can say it is just the reverse of midpoint theorem. Now it states that the line drawn through the midpoints of one side of a triangle parallel to another side bisects the third side. Now suppose this is a triangle ABC, and here if X is the midpoint and if XY is parallel, a line passing through the midpoint of one side and which is parallel to another side, so that means XY is parallel to BC. So that means you can say here what it is given, here it is given only X is the midpoint. So only X is the midpoint, and and what it is given? It is also given xy is parallel to BC. Then according to the midpoint theorem, converse of midpoint theorem, then y is also the midpoint. Y is also the midpoint of AC. Understand? And then we can say hence in this case also we can say that xy is half of BC. So understand? So it is just the converse view of the midpoint theorem. So if you see the difference, this is midpoint theorem and this is converse of midpoint theorem. Now in midpoint theorem, what it states? Now here it is given x is the midpoint and y is also the midpoint. Then xy will be parallel to BC and xy will be half of BC. That means here what it is given? It is given x and y are the midpoints. Of AB and AC respectively. Then according to midpoint theorem, so according to midpoint theorem I can say that xy is half of BC and xy is parallel to BC. Okay, so this is midpoint theorem. And what is converse of midpoint theorem? Now suppose here ABC is a triangle. In converse of midpoint theorem only x is given the midpoint. Okay, and xy is a line passing through the midpoint and which is parallel to BC. So that means here what it is given? Here it is given x is the midpoint. X is the midpoint of AB. And what it is given? It is also given that xy is parallel to BC. So you can understand the given was x and y both are midpoints, and therefore xy will be parallel to BC and xy will be half of BC. But here what it is given? X is the midpoint it is given, and what it is given? xy is parallel to BC. So that is given. And then according to midpoint theorem we can say what? That y is also the midpoint, of AC. So we can also say that y is also the midpoint of AC, and hence we can say that xy is also half of BC, because we know that xy will be half of BC because if it is parallel, right? So this is the midpoint theorem and this is converse of midpoint theorem. Okay, understand? Okay, now see in this sum they told that D, E, F are the midpoints of the sides BC, C and AB respectively. Okay, so D is the midpoint of BC, so D is the midpoint of BC. E is the midpoint of CA, E is the midpoint of CA, and F is the midpoint of AB. F is the midpoint of AB. So all these are midpoint, you can understand. This equal to this and this will be equal to this. Okay, now we have to prove that DEF is also an equilateral triangle. Now simply we can start like this. Okay, we can see that EF is half of BC, EF is half of BC, right? EF is half of BC. We can also say FD. FD will be half of AC, okay? So this FD is half of AC, because you can understand this is the midpoint, this is the midpoint. So if I join, it will be half of the base, half of AC. And then DE. DE is half of AB. Now the reason is, we can write according to midpoint theorem. Okay, I am writing in short, but you should write midpoint theorem in full. So according to midpoint theorem. Now we know what? Ki triangle ABC is an equilateral triangle, it is given. So we know that AB is equal to BC is equal to AC. Since triangle ABC is equilateral, and therefore we can say that half of AB will be equal to half of BC and will be equal to half of AC, because these three are equal. So therefore their halves are also be equal. And now we can say that half of AB means DE and half of BC means EF and half of AC means FD. So understand, DE equals to EF equals to FD. So DE equals to EF equals to FD, and therefore finally we can say that triangle DEF is an equilateral triangle. Okay, equilateral triangle, and hence proved. Okay, understand? Okay, now so in this sum, they told show that the line segment joining the midpoints of the opposite sides of a quadrilateral bisect each other. Now quadrilateral means, any four-sided figure, it can be of any shape. So let the quadrilateral be of any shape like this, okay? Now suppose this is A, B, C and D, and suppose P, Q, R, S are the midpoints as they told, and they told show that the line segment joining the midpoints of the opposite sides of the quadrilateral. That means if I join this and if I join this and suppose they intersect at O, we have to prove that they bisect each other. That means PO equals to OR and OQ equals to OS. Okay, so that is what we have to prove. So let's start. Now first what we should write, what is given. Now given ABCD is a quadrilateral, and then P, Q, R and S are the midpoints of AB, BC, CD and AD respectively. Okay. Now what we have to prove? To prove PR and SQ bisect each other. Now for this, first we will do a construction. We will join, join PQ RS. Okay, join PQ RS. So we will join this. After joining this, for what we have to just prove, we have to just prove that PQRS is a parallelogram. Now if I can prove that this is a parallelogram, and in a parallelogram the diagonals bisect each other, so our proof will be done. So our main aim is that we have to prove PQRS is a parallelogram. Okay, for that we have to do another construction, also join BD. Okay, so I'll also join BD like this. So understand, we have joined BD. Now first we'll say in triangle ABD. Now in triangle ABD, I can simply say that PS is equal to half of BD, and PS is parallel to BD. So that is, according to midpoint theorem, because P is the midpoint of AB and S is the midpoint of AD, so I can say PS is half of BD and PS is parallel to BD. Understand? Again, okay, I'm writing here only. Again, in triangle BCD now. Okay, in triangle BCD, similarly we can also say that QR is equals to half of BD and QR is parallel to BD. So that's same according to midpoint theorem. So finally what we can say? We can say that PS equals to QR, because both is equals to half of BD, right? PS equals to half of BD, QR is half of BD, therefore PS equals to QR equals to half of BD. And we can also say that PS is parallel to BD and QR is also parallel to BD. So therefore finally from this to what we can say? We can say that PS is equals to QR, and we can also say that PS is equal to QR, and we can also say PS is parallel to QR, right? Try to understand, if PS is parallel to BD and if QR is also parallel to BD, then finally I can say that PS is parallel to QR. So that is PS is parallel to QR, and similarly PS is also equals to QR. So you can see in this figure, this PS is parallel to QR and PS is equal to QR. So I can say, since a pair of opposite sides are equal and parallel, therefore we can say that PQRS is a parallelogram, and hence we can say that PR and QS bisect each other. Hence we can say that PR and QS bisect each other since opposite sides of a parallelogram bisect each other. Okay, so therefore it is proved. Clear? Understand? Okay, now say in this sum, they told ABCD is a rhombus and PQRS are the midpoints of the side AB, BC, CD and DA respectively, and we have to show that PQRS is a rectangle. Okay. Now first let's draw the rhombus. You know that in a rhombus all sides are equal. Okay. So in a rhombus all sides are equal and the diagonals, they bisect at 90 degree. So that we know the property of a rhombus. Okay. Now they told PQRS are the midpoints of side AB. So AB, the midpoint, this is P, this is BC, the midpoint is Q. For CD, the midpoint is R, and for AD, the midpoint is S. And we have to prove that PQRS, this PQRS forms a rectangle. So we have to prove that it is a rectangle. Now first what we will do, we will first prove that PQRS is a parallelogram. Okay, just see. Now we can say that in triangle ABC, P and Q are the midpoints. Of AB and BC respectively, and therefore we can see that according to midpoint theorem, this PQ is equals to half of AC and PQ is parallel to AC, right? So let this be number 1. Again, we can see that in triangle ACD now, in triangle ACD, here also we can say that S and R are the midpoints of AD and CD respectively, and therefore here also we can say that according to midpoint theorem, SR is half of AC and SR is parallel to AC. Okay. Now therefore we can say that from 1 and 2 we can say that PQ is equal to SR and PQ is parallel to SR, and since a pair of opposite sides are equal and parallel, therefore PQRS is a parallelogram. Okay, the first part is over. So we have proved PQRS is a parallelogram, but if we have to prove that PQRS is a rectangle. So in a rectangle, rectangle is also a parallelogram, but in which all angles are 90 degrees. So we have to prove that. Now see. Now we have already proved that PQ is parallel to SR. Right. Now we can also say that we can say that RQ, right? RQ is parallel to BD. because R and Q is also the midpoint. So RQ is parallel to BD. Also RQ is parallel to BD. Since R and Q are the midpoints of DC and BC respectively. Okay. So finally we can say that in quadrilateral, okay, now if I this is O, now if I just give a lettering here X and if I give a lettering here Y, I can say OXQY in this quadrilateral. If you say in quadrilateral OXQY, okay, we can say that OY is parallel to XQ, OY is parallel to XQY. Since AC is parallel to PQ, we have proved above, PQ is parallel to AC. So if PQ is parallel to AC, then OY will be parallel to XQ. Again, we can also say that YQ is parallel to OX. YQ is parallel to OX. Why? Since RQ is parallel to BD, just now we have proved. Since RQ is parallel to BD, so you can understand in this quadrilateral, if you see, in this quadrilateral, this is parallel to this and this is parallel to this. So since the opposite sides are parallel, then I can say that this quadrilateral OXQY, this is also a parallelogram, right? So therefore we can say that since opposite sides are parallel, therefore OXQY is a parallelogram. So we can say that OXQY is a parallelogram. Now we know angle XOY is equal to 90 degree. Why? Since diagonals of a rhombus bisect at 90 degree. So therefore I can say that XOY, this is 90 degree, and therefore I can say that angle XQY is equal to angle XOY is equal to 90 degree. Why? Since opposite angles of a parallelogram is equal to 90. So that means if this is a parallelogram, then if this is 90, the opposite angle will also be 90, because opposite angles of parallelogram are 90. Now we can see, okay, after this you come here. Okay, from here first you will go there. After copying this, from here you come here. So now we can see that PQ, therefore we can say in fact PQRS is a parallelogram in which one angle that is angle PQR, okay, that is angle PQR is equal to 90 degree. Why? Since we got just now XQY, since angle XQY is equal to 90 degree, so if XQY 90 means PQR 90, and if in a parallelogram if one angle is 90, so naturally all angle will be 90, okay, so otherwise it can't be parallel. So therefore, since PQRS is a parallelogram in which one angle is 90 degree, and therefore finally we can say PQRS is a rectangle. Understand? So you should copy this properly and practice this. Okay, it's a big sum, but not very difficult. So if you practice it, I hope you can easily do it later. Okay. Okay, now in this sum we told ABCD is a rectangle and PQR is at the midpoints of the sides. Okay, 4 sides respectively, and show that the quadrilateral PQRS is a rhombus. So ABCD, so this is a rectangle, and PQRS, so P is the midpoint of AB, Q is the midpoint of BC, R is the midpoint of CD, and S is the midpoint of AD respectively, and you have to prove that this PQRS is a rhombus. Okay, so for that we will do construction. Join, okay, join AC and BD. Okay, so we'll join this AC and we'll join BD. Now here we can directly say that SR is half of AC. Similarly, PQ is half of AC. SP is half of BD, and RQ is also half of BD. Now all are, you know, it is according to midpoint theorem. So according to midpoint theorem, so this will be half of this, and you know this. Now also you know that AC equals to BD. AC is equal to BD because, you know, ABCD is a rectangle. In fact, there will not be comma. So ABCD is a rectangle. So AC equals to BD. Why? Since diagonals of a rectangle are always equal. Okay, so in a rectangle the diagonals are equal. So therefore I can say AC equals to BD, right? AC is equal to BD, and therefore we can say that half of AC will be equal to half of BD. Half of AC will be equal to half of BD. Now you can say half of AC and half of BD all will be equal. So therefore I can say all these 4 sides are equal, and therefore we can say simply that PQ is equal to QR is equal to RS is equal to SP, and therefore we can say that PQRS, okay, PQRS is a rhombus, since all sides are equal. So if in any quadrilateral, if all the four sides are equal, therefore it is a rhombus. Okay, so therefore hence proved. Okay, understand? Okay, now see in this sum, in the adjoining figure, ABCD is a trapezium, and in which AB is parallel to DC. Okay, so AB is parallel to DC, and E is the midpoint of AD. E is the midpoint of AD. A line is drawn through E. So a line is drawn through E, which is parallel to AB. So parallel to AB, intersecting BC at F. Okay, intersecting BC at F. Now what you have to prove? We have to prove that F is also the midpoint of BC. So that is what we have to prove. Okay. So for that, we will do a construction. Okay, in the figure. So I am drawing the figure again. So we will do join BD. Okay, so we will do this construction. We will join this BD. Now in triangle ABD. So in triangle ABD, we can say that first that E is the midpoint of AD, that is given, and we can also say, okay, better to write join BD to intersect construction to intersect EF at PC. Say suppose this is P. Okay, now E is the midpoint in this triangle. We can say that E is the midpoint of AD, that is given. Now also we can say that EP is parallel to AB. EP is parallel to AB. Why? Since given EF is parallel to AB, it is given. Now therefore, if you remember, this is converse of midpoint theorem. Okay, therefore according to converse of midpoint theorem, we can say that P is also the midpoint of BD. Understand? If you remember converse of midpoint theorem, if you see in this triangle, E is the midpoint of AD and EP is parallel to AB, then according to converse of midpoint theorem, this P is also the midpoint of BD. Okay, now again, in triangle BCD now, okay, in triangle BCD now, the first thing here we can say that P is the midpoint. P is the midpoint of BD, and again, now P is the midpoint of BD, just we have proved above, so you can write here proved above. And again PF is parallel to CD, since you know EF is parallel to AB and AB is parallel to CD. So if EF is parallel to AB and AB is parallel to CD, so that means all these three lines are parallel, and therefore I can say PF is parallel to CD. And here also we can say therefore according to converse of midpoint theorem, F is the midpoint of BC, and that is hence proved. Okay, understand? Now, so in this sum they told AB is a triangle right angle at C. So suppose ABC is a triangle which is right angle at C. So this is C. Okay. So this will be A, B, C. Okay, or we can so this is A, because hypotenuse is AB. AB, C is a triangle, right angle triangle at C, and a line through the midpoint M of hypotenuse AB. So AB, the midpoint, that is M, and a line through hypotenuse M, a line through the midpoint M of hypotenuse AB and parallel to BC. So that means through M, a line parallel to BC. So this is parallel to BC. Intersects AC at D. So intersects AC at D. And then we have to prove all this. Okay, the first we have to prove D is the midpoint. So first one you can understand, it's converse of midpoint theorem, we can easily say. So for number 1, we can see that given M is the midpoint, M is the midpoint of AB, and MD is parallel to BC, and therefore we can say according to converse of midpoint theorem, D is the midpoint of AC. So that is proved. Okay, number 1. So proved number 1. Number 2, they told MD is perpendicular to AC. So that's easy. You can simply say corresponding angle. We can say that angle BCD equals to angle MDA, corresponding angle right, since MD is parallel to BC. So you can understand, if this is parallel, then you can say if this is 90, then this is 90, right? So therefore, and hence we can say simply that MD is perpendicular to AC. So this is hence proved. Number 2. Now number 3, they told, hence proof CM equals to AM. So CM, we have to prove CM equals to AM equals to half of AB. Now AM is half of AB, we know that already because M is the midpoint. So naturally MA is half of AB. We have to just prove what? MA equals to MC, because if we can prove MA equals to CM, then we can say that MA equals to CM is half of AB. Now for this, what we have to do, we have to take in triangle AMD and triangle CMD. Okay, so you have to prove these two triangle congruent. Now if I can prove these two triangle congruent, then I can say AM equals to CM, that is CPCT. So how can we can prove? Say number A, we can say the first thing that AD equals to DC. AD equals to DC since D is the midpoint of AC, and that's proved above, right? We have proved in number 1. Number B, second point, we can say MD equals to MD. MD equals to MD, that is common. So MD equals to MD, and number C, we can say angle ADM equals to angle MDC. Angle MDC is equal to 90 degree. Why? since MD is perpendicular to AC, and that is also proved above. And therefore we can say that triangle AMD is congruent to triangle CMD. So we can say this is in fact side angle side. Okay, so these two side, this side equal to this side and this side, and the angle between them is this 90 and 90. So I can say it is SAS criteria, and therefore finally we can say that AM is equal to MC, that is CP CT. Okay, so therefore I can say AM equals to MC. Now we can say that we know AM is half of AB. AM is half of AB. Why? Since M is the midpoint of AB, so M is the midpoint of AB, and therefore we can say that AM, because AM is also equals to MC, is equal to MC is equal to half of AB, and that is hence 2. That is number 3. Okay, understand? Okay, now see in this sum, in the adjoining figure, ABCDs are parallelogram, and EF are the midpoints of the side AB and CD respectively. So E is the midpoint of AB and F is the midpoint of CF. Okay. Now show that the line segment AF and EC, so that means this line and this line EC and AF trisects diagonal BD. Trisects, that means this two line divides this diagonal BD into 3 equal parts. So that means we have to in fact to prove DP equals to PQ is equal to QB. So that is what we have to prove. That is the meaning of trisection. Now for this, first of all, if I say in quadrilateral, AECF, now we can say that AE is equal to half of AB and CF is half of CD. Now AE is half of AB. Why? Since E is the midpoint. E is the midpoint of AB. Okay. Now here it is not, now I'm not writing in quadrilateral because we are using something outside quadrilateral also. I'll write it later. First we can say that we can say this AE is half of AB, right? AE is half of AB. We can also say CF is half of CD. Here also, since F is the midpoint of CD. Now we know also what? AB equals to CD, right? Since ABCD is a parallelogram, it is given, and therefore we can say that half of AB is equal to half of CD, and therefore simply we can say that AE is equal to CF. So AE is equal to CF. Also AE is also parallel to CF. AE will also be parallel to CF. Why? Since AB is parallel to CD, and therefore we can say that hence Therefore AECF is a parallelogram. So first we have proved AECF is a parallelogram. Okay, understand? Now see. Now we can say, now in triangle, if I say in triangle DPC, so this triangle, in triangle DPC, the first thing we can say that F is the midpoint of CD, because that was given, right? Similarly, number 2, we can say that PF is parallel to CQ. Now this PF will be parallel to CQ. Why? Since AFCE is a parallelogram, means since AF is parallel to EC, understand? Because if AF is parallel to EC, then PF will be parallel to CQ. So AF is parallel to EC as AECF is a parallelogram, right? And therefore we can say that according to converse of midpoint theorem, right, F is, sorry, P is the midpoint of DQ. So according to converse of midpoint theorem, P is the midpoint of DQ, right? Again, now if P is the midpoint of DQ, so from here we can say DP equals to PQ, and therefore DP is equal to PQ. So now let it be number 1. Now again, similarly, if I take in triangle APB, again in triangle APB, so in triangle APB, I can say E is the midpoint of AB, E is the midpoint of AB, and now E is the midpoint of AB and EQ is parallel to AP, and EQ is parallel to AP. Here also the similar reason, that AECF. Now since AECF is a parallelogram, and here also we can say therefore Q is the midpoint of BQ, therefore Q is the midpoint of BQ, of BP. So hence Q is the midpoint of BP, and that is, according to converse of midpoint theorem. Again, according to converse of midpoint theorem, and therefore from here we can say what, that PQ, since Q is the midpoint of PB, therefore we can say PQ equals to QB. Therefore we can say PQ is equal to QB, and number 2. Now we can say therefore from 1 and 2 we can say what, DP is equal to PQ is equal to QB. Understand? Hence we can say DP is equal to PQ is equal to QB, and hence we can say that EC, that is hence proved, we can say, because we have to prove that the line segment AF and EC trisects the diagonal BD. So simply we can say it is hence. Okay, understand? Okay, so this is the end of first part. Okay, I'll come with more videos in the second part of midpoint theorem. Okay.